5 years ago, a new way to journal was released to the world. That was an app called Day One. Its vision was to accomplish one thing really well, and that was journaling. What I loved about it was just how different it felt than the basic notes or the Evernote app, and it gently pushed you to record your memories with the added bonus of it being with you wherever you went. And it did a fine job. Now we come to Day One 2.0. Before we get to major new features, I have to say this. Day One Sync, which debuted last May, is the only option to store your entries in, but it's free and blazing fast, so if you're importing from Day One Classic, have no fear. Just log in to your account and in a minute or two, all of your entries will be imported to the new app. Of course, it depends on how many entries you had in the previous version. So, with that clear, let's finally get to the major new features we've been looking for. You can now have up to 10 pictures in one entry. That's 10 photos! 10! Yay! Other than that, making a new entry is the same as before. Hit the big plus sign at the top or the smaller one at the bottom row buttons. It's really your choice because they get you to the same place. And then the screen gives you a nice blank spot to start journaling. It's your journal, so of course it's up to you to put whatever you want in it. So, if you'll notice, there's a little rectangle that has an M and a down arrow. I think that means markdown, but it doesn't really matter because it opens up the options to make your entries look, pretty. You can have a quote, bold words, italicized words, and have lists. To showcase what an entry can look like with Day One 2, let's first start with what an entry would look like in Day One Classic. So you have a picture at the top, and then text below it. So here's what's possible with Day One 2. This is a sample recapping entry of mine where I recap the week if I didn't have time to journal until that day. So I bolded each day to make them more visible, and then there's the first picture, and right below it is a quote to get the picture I caption, separating it from the main details from the day. And it follows that pattern till I recap the days I've missed, and as you can see, all these abilities make a journal entry come to life. And in my spare time, I found myself adding in other pictures from that day and expanding on any details that I missed. Oh, and a quick tip. To insert your photos, you need to insert them one at a time at the line that you want it to be at. Importing multiple at the same time puts them all back to back, and right now you can't drag them around once they're in place. Other than that, journaling in Day One 2 is flawless, just like it was before. The other major feature comes in the form of multiple journals. If you're that type of person who likes to separate entries by various subjects, you can do that. Another detail included is the ability to customize the color of that journal, done so by tapping the settings icon at the top in journals, then tap the journal you want to change. This also allows you to change the journal's name if you so wish. A secret way to be able to reach the different journals you have is actually located in the bottom left corner. Tap the little hamburger button at the bottom, and that's so much easier than having to reach your thumb all the way to the top and hitting that down arrow to get the different entries. Anyway, the other new feature is the new map to showcase all the locations you've journaled at. This was previously available only on the Mac version, but it is also now included on the iOS version. It automatically zooms to your current location, so let me cut so I don't show you where I actually am. It's handy for when you want to see the entries you made while traveling, and it's cool to be able to see just where you've been journaling. Perfect for remembering all the places that you've been. And of course we come to the last tab, which is the calendar view. It's pretty much the exact same from Day One Classic, just now in whatever color you've chosen the diary to be in, and it now has its own tab. Also, you can now bulk edit tags to your entries, so if you want to add a tag for an event you went to that was many days, now you can add that tag to multiple entries, and this was a requested feature that's now included in this new version, and it really just streamlines the tagging experience, making it so much simpler than before. Another new improvement is search. This is different from tags in that you can literally search for any single word in the dictionary and it'll pull up all the entries with that word. So if you search with the word A or I, you're probably going to be getting a lot of entries. And places like Disney World or books like Harry Potter, they all show up even if you don't have a tag for them, and that is just super nice. You can now also set up your own custom reminders for journaling. In Day 1 Classic, it was just able to notify you that it's time to journal, but now you can customize that message and set the tags to be placed on the entry right when you swipe to open the app. It's really handy for events that happen on a regular basis, so if you don't have to remember to put that tag in later. So as we begin to wrap up this big overview, I need to mention the iPad exclusive capabilities. As you'd expect, it supports iOS 9's new slide over and split view, only available on the iPads from 2013 and beyond. And it also supports the iPad Pro natively. Lastly, when you open the app and you have no entry selected, it'll display a quote from a famous person about journaling. It's a small detail that isn't needed, but I love that it is included, as a possibility of helping you get inspiration to journal, and that is perfect for when you have no idea of what to journal. Day 1.2 is a major upgrade and I highly recommend it. It's been in development for 2 years, yet this is just the beginning of what's to come. In the next major update, version 2.1, Day 1 has promised it'll bring private key encryption to your entries, aka better security and more secure entries, which is just fantastic. Other features promised include adding audio, recordings, a night mode, places, and an activity feed. It's $4.99 for the first week of availability on iOS, and after this week, regular price is $9.99. Buy it and I guarantee you won't regret it. Months from now, you'll be able to look back and remember the details you typed down. That's what I love about Day 1, and I'm glad to have it a part of my life.